They're going to try to financially collapse that regime. They're starting to seize all their assets. And then if your workers at the factories, at these oil and chemical plants stop working, there's no revenue. Yeah. It's not like the mullahs are going to roll up their sleeves and go and start working.
All right, guys.
Ignite the generator. And it just blows up the whole plant. They're like, oh.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Immigrant Section. It's your boy Abbas Wahab saying thank you for tuning in. If you're in Toronto, come out to the next Forced Diversity show, October 21st. Free Times Cafe, as always, 2 shows. And if you're in Canada, they're Going Places Comedy Tour. Tickets at abbaswahab.com. We just added Lethbridge, Alberta, trying to add Red Deer, Halifax, a couple other spots. Check those tickets. Enough of all that. Back in the studio with me, one of the section favorites, my guy, a.k.a. Monk, who he didn't even know who he was. But anywho, my boy, Faraz Niafattah.
What's up, Abbas? I am very happy back here. You know, give me some. Give me some. Yes, thank you. Hey, what's up, Abbas's followers?
Right before we went live, he's like, I have to do the accent the whole time. I'm like, bro, this is a comedy podcast. Fucking do the accent and get the fuck out of my house.
Light it up. Tell me more about this Monk character. Now I'm curious.
Bro, he's like a detective, and he's what's it called? Hypochondriac.
Okay, so those one of those descriptors. So
are you curious and also paranoid?
Yeah, I'm curious about being a hypochondriac.
Oh, shit, dude. It might be an Irani thing. I'm pretty sure that guy's Persian.
I was talking to some comic about this, how we would be good detectives, like just comedians, because we don't miss much. We're always paying attention.
And we're always in our head, like...
Just like analyzing and just like, why did they do that way? So I think if we could channel that into like studying a crime scene.
Dude, it's actually hilarious you say that. I did a show with Paul Thompson and Al Val. We're in like Kitchener or some random show. And 2 comedians here in Toronto. And, you know, Al is like she now, right? Transition. So I sit down at the table, and I'm like, what are you boys up to, right? and then I was like, and then I didn't want to say anything about it because like, she knows, they know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not going to be all weird about it. Fuck it. And then after the fact, I'm out smoking some weed after my set with Paul. And then he's like, you know what I noticed? That he's like, he not only did he pick up on it, but he also picked up, he's like, I saw in your face, you were like, fuck. I'm like, dude, you noticed that shit, man? Comedians don't miss a thing.
We don't miss much, man. We don't miss much. That's what I mean. If we could be motivated to help. There's not enough crime, I guess. That's probably why. There's
if we could somehow have been
crime.
Given more attention at a young age.
Is it that? Or you just sometimes
there's
people
something wrong.
No, I think you just have, it's
something's
like,
off.
You just have this framework. Like your brain is wired a little different where you want to notice everything.
But it's not just that. I think I'm hypersensitive, sensitive to like my surroundings because I'm in a state of fight or flight more so than
the average man.
Yeah, someone that was given proper attention, hugged the whole whatever the by the book proper upbringing is, where they have a sense of security. They have an inherent sense of security. I don't, and a lot of us don't. So we're constantly looking, constantly aware, analyzing, assessing.
Yeah, but you ask why. Some people don't even ask why. Some people are like, oh, yeah, well, I guess they just said so. But those of us who ask why are the ones that are always like, well, why? You know, like you walk into a store and there's a guy looking up at the ceiling. And you're like, what's he doing? Why is he all the merchandise is down here? But he's like, yeah, but I wonder why like the ceilings are this high and it's such a big.
So
building.
are we the comedian noticing that he's looking up, or is he the comedian because he's
looking
both?
Up? We're both. That's how we find each other.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yo, he's like, yo, have you seen the ceilings? Like, I don't know, but I saw you look.
I saw you
He's
look.
like, it's fucking nasty,
Yo,
bro.
it's pretty crazy, right? The ceiling's
like,
wild.
Dude,
yeah.
I got 3. That's how you got your 5 minutes on ceilings. You've been open up on ceiling
I've been talking about ceilings for a while
2 weeks.
Now. Yeah, there's no ceiling anymore for us.
Yeah, exactly. Not in Canada,
Not
man.
anymore. We can do whatever. The world is our oyster, guys. But I'm telling you, dude, that's how you know. You're like the people who ask why and the people who look up. Those are the ones.
Those are the motherfucking ones.
We'd be good at it. But I don't know, man.
I like that. You're like, there's no ceiling, but you're wearing a going nowhere shirt.
Yeah. You like that shit? Man, so, okay, this tour is going to be sick, man. Where are you guys?
We're starting the bitch off in St. John's. Here's what I fucked up, though. Fucked up big. For all of you out there booking a tour and in general, know this. At some point in my life, I was under the impression that if you rented from Enterprise Rent-A-Car, you can drop off your car at a different location at no additional fee.
Oh, no.
I was sorely mistaken. Keep in mind, I have a fucking full background of like corporate renting cars and all that shit, so I never worried too much about that. But somehow I got that in my mind that Enterprise, I know everyone else will fuck you.
Yeah.
And I thought Enterprise was like, would play ball, but they fuck you just as hard.
No, they call it like a relocation fee. They have to like pay someone to drive it back, or they have to
But
do
the
something.
cost of it, the cost of...
Is a lot more than the rental.
Oh,
like,
it's not even
overall.
just that, but it's like from St. John's, Newfoundland to Halifax, where I want to drop it off. That drive is like,
the
with the
mileage.
ferry. The mileage isn't even crazy. 8 hours, 7-hour ferry, 4-hour drive. I mean, kind of rough, but they wanted like $1,000 for that. And keep in mind, I used to live in Detroit, and when I moved to San Francisco, I put my car in a truck to come there. And they wanted the same price. So from Michigan to the tip of America in fucking, not the tip, I guess San Jose,
but far.
San Diego, far as fuck.
Yeah.
Like far as fuck, 4,000 miles or whatever the hell it is. Same price. And they're like, and what's funny is I love how the corporate, they always word things as if, they're like, they make it sound like, these two airports actually, are pre-qualified to allow you to, you're like, oh shit,
They
it's gonna
pre-qualified
be
us.
cheap.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
$20,000 limit.
Nah,
I'm
dude.
pre-qualified.
The cost of living in America is just lower. It's always going to be cheaper. Their gas
I know, but
is
it blew me
cheaper,
away.
their
where
labor.
It's a $400 rental for the days I want, and if I want to drop it off in Halifax, it's $1,540.
That's insane. But that's because you pay some guy to drive it back.
I know, but still, they drive them back as a lot. You know what I mean?
I
They
know.
bank.
I know.
Even the only way to do
Rent
that
a
is if
U-Haul.
it's
I'm pretty sure U-Haul doesn't care where you drop off the van. But then you have
guess
to
so,
drive
but then-
around a bang bus.
Yeah, yeah. We'd have to put a fucking
Beep,
mattress
beep.
in the back. One of us dies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're
Yeah.
losing money
Maybe
on
don't
the
do
tour
that,
already.
yeah.
We didn't need
Don't
anyone
do
to
that
die.
one. Yeah, but I think U-Haul is like your only provider that's like, go wherever you want.
No. The way we're doing it now is we're going to drive all the way through fucking Newfoundland, drive back, go to Halifax, rent a car from Halifax, go up Nova Scotia, do the shows, come back down. That's why I'm really trying to lock in this Halifax. Dude, I got
Just get a
rejected from 10
helicopter.
venues.
Yeah, but that's your first tour.
Yeah, but it's like
Slowly.
It's not even that they're like, we haven't heard of you. It's more like they just.
So what? I haven't heard of you either.
Yeah, there you go. And we're both going nowhere. I'm
Jeez.
getting one of those shirts. I'm waiting on a large.
Yeah.
But
they don't. Yeah, they're just. It doesn't matter. You'll get them next year, or you'll find other venues, man.
when
You're out there, you'll drive around. And you'll be like, yo, this theater in this town or whatever, this looks pretty sick. Like we should try to meet and you go inside and you're like, hey, what's up? Stacy, nice to meet you. You're the manager. Cool. Yeah, I'm this guy. And then next thing you know,
that was actually my plan. I was just in Winnipeg this Friday. And I want to do a show in Winnipeg next year. So I was like, I'll go to Winnipeg and I'll
scope out
some venues. But bro, it's such a depressing city.
Is it?
Oh my God. You ever been to Winnipeg?
No.
Dude, first of all, it was like 20 here the day before, and I fly there. It's like -3. So I'm just
fuck.
I'm not trying to be outside.
Yeah.
And second of all, I'm just like, as soon as I got the keys to the Airbnb, I was like, I'm not fucking going. I don't care. You know what I mean? I ended up, the other comedians on the show told me all the venues.
That's
so I ended up solving the problem.
Yeah.
But I was like,
I'm not going for a walk. Yeah, this is not the city for walking. Yeah. That's brutal. I've been to all the provinces, none of the territories,
Even
all the
Sask.
provinces. Yep. But I've never been to Manitoba.
Good. I see.
I always go around. I go through America.
Yeah,
when
smart
I'm
guy.
going
Go to
this.
Montana, right?
Yeah. I go through the nice parts. I don't have anything against Manitoba, though. So those of you viewing this
The
from Manitoba.
7 viewers out of there. No disrespect, guys.
I'm
actually going to run it at the basement, it's called. Every
Nice.
city's got a basement.
Wow.
comedy
So it's a
spot.
depressing place, and they're like, you know how we make it better?
Underground. Yeah, exactly.
The basement.
Sliding door,
You
eye
guys
thing.
No, yeah. Turn your eyelids upside down.
You're
That's gonna be good, man.
constantly traveling Canada, by the way. Like,
Yeah. I like to.
it's very surprising because a lot of immigrants, when or like foreign people, when they travel, they leave. They either leave the continent or they
Yes.
at least leave the country. But you're always like in the East Coast.
Yeah.
This time you were in the West Coast.
I saw the videos at Pearson, people losing their bags because they were like, I'm going to Rome, like whatever. And Paris, I haven't been to Paris in 2 years.
You're
And
like, cancel England and Paris.
yeah, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to
Equality-
stay in the
Yellowknife?
country. Yeah.
Here we come.
Just see Canada before I start going and give Italians my money.
Yeah,
and
right.
Shit like that. You know what I mean? And
I
also
know.
our currency's dying a slow death. Like, have you looked it up?
I-
73 cents
To the
American
US, yeah.
is $1 Canadian dollar.
It's
Like,
rough right
that's
now.
and then on top of that, mortgage rate. That's what I mean. Like, if you did this tour in America, you'd be making 1.3 times your labor, and the cost of living's lower. You'd be making more money, and it costs you less to do the tour.
Did you know there's like 30 to 40 clubs in like Canada? And there's 400 in America. Like the
probably,
density,
or more.
just the human density, and then density for like entertainment infrastructure is a magnitude higher. Like it's insane. This is why they're like, when they go, Canada has ceiling. It's because there's a giant landmass called Manitoba and Saskatchewan that you could make $80 in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Tops, yeah.
Right? So it's like,
just go buy scratch cards. You might make your money there.
Oh
shit! I won the Manitoba lottery. $10K.
I was at a coffee shop waiting for my Airbnb in Winnipeg, and this old man next to me just was like, just sitting there. You know, like sometimes they don't even have a newspaper.
Just wasting the time.
Just heart beating. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Barely, probably. Mm-hmm. But the guy just every now and then I would see in his hand he had like a lotto. Numbers. Yeah. He would just keep looking at it like 34, 46. Those. That's
slowly too scratching it.
That's a good. No, it was the one where you choose your numbers and they print you, and he just kept. It wasn't even the interactive.
Oh wow.
The game ones I get. Oh, if you was scratching, live your life, scratch away. But he just kept looking at the numbers like.
That's good. That's good.
I'm like, fuck.
It's better than you see those like Filipino guys that have a gambling problem at the convenience store and they're just scratching the barcode and scanning their scratch cards and they're like, fuck. And they're just blowing through $200. They go to the next convenience store and do it again.
What's crazy is how much of that there is. You know, they have a little section, the scratch section.
Yep.
Sometimes there's 3 guys in line.
Yeah, I know.
Just go to a shelf and scratch at the shelf.
And then there's a pile of that like scratch
of just degeneracy. That is a pile of that. When I see that, I'm like, there's a child out there that has a father
that's not paying child support. Yeah,
that's here right now.
That's your child support pile right there. If you could accumulate that and go to the old G and be like, please, they don't care.
My child just wants Air Force One off-whites. Yeah, 700.
My child just wants a normal childhood and won't be a comic.
Yeah, man, exactly. That when I see that pile, I'm like, the future of comedy is good. You know what I mean?
I wonder when you're driving across the country, listen to like local radio. I wonder if that Alberta is calling ad is going to be playing in other provinces or if it's only for Ontario. Because
Alberta is I haven't even heard that.
Yeah, like
how does it go?
It's basically this ad that they started running. I think there might be subway ads too, where it's like Alberta is calling and they're trying to compare Calgary to Toronto, being like, come to Calgary, you'll have a job tomorrow. Come to Calgary, you'll have more free time because there's less traffic. Come to Calgary, you can buy a home instead of being in Toronto. There's some on Instagram too where you're scrolling and there's like they'll have like the hottest like fucking
chicks.
Yeah, just like
they're even hotter out there too.
Yeah, and you're
her ass is so fat. That's an Alberta. Yeah. That's an Alberta ass, bro.
Yeah, and you're stupid enough to be like, whoa, man, Alberta, and go there. Like, come on. But then it's like, yeah, you went to Winnipeg. It was -3. Calgary's probably 6 feet under snow, like in July, and they're like, yeah, come, it's better. It's like Alberta's calling, and I'm not answering, bro.
Yeah, right.
Imagine only brown guys go. Just like all of Brampton relocates and they're like, fuck it, we heard the ads, let's go.
Dude, I guarantee you that's going to happen. Because look, I'm from London, Ontario. And when the fucking real estate prices went stupid, so many there was a mass exodus towards London because those real estate prices were still in the realm of reality. Yeah. And since then, they've obviously fucked them up too, right? But now my good friend Pakistani, right, from Milton, but still, you're repping. Yo, Fahad, you know what the deal is.
Represent.
You know, he's not even mad if he hears this. He's like, I know.
Yeah.
But he has been investing in mad real estate in Calgary. And I promise you there's going to be a mass exodus of every like real estate conscious brown person, which is a lot. They're going to be going there because you obviously if you have your second home rental properties, then it's the financial gain isn't as good as if it's your primary residence, right?
Yeah. They're like, so the tax is lower in Alberta, but trust
just
me,
go live there 4 years.
They have extreme weather. They don't have a tree in Calgary to save their life. There's like some trees it's like the prairies.
By the way, first of all,
you have to like that kind of landscape.
Let me just say, I'm amped for my Calgary show. I put a thing on my Linktree saying, tell me where to come next. Mad people from Calgary and Edmonton. You know why? Because it fucking sucks to live there. Yo.
Yeah, Edmonton's rough. Yeah.
You know, wherever you get a huge list of people, come here. Please. Winnipeg too.
Yeah.
Come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been to those places. It's sick. The shows get packed. You know why?
For sure.
because it's
They're
like
looking around like, yeah.
dreary.
Yeah.
Dude, Calgary specifically, I went like, I've been to Calgary a couple times, but the first time I went was 2014, 15, something like that. But what blows my mind about Calgary is that there's no culture. It's almost like everybody there is there to make a buck, and
That's the plan.
exclusively I'm here for everyone I was surrounded by was there for financial gain, and it was like I was just hearing the mechanisms of that
At all levels, man. Even the taxi. I took a cab to the airport, and I called the cab company, and I told them where I was, and I was going to the airport, and they're like, yeah, like $30. Like, they quoted me. I got there, and it was like 50 something, and the guy's just like, oh, the meter, you give me money, and I'm like, what the fuck, man?
This is why you gotta go, and then the Uber would have like obviously.
No, the Uber was way more. Yeah. So that's why I called the cab.
Because they're like, oh, airport fee.
So I mean,
you're getting fucked one way or another, and the whole game over there, by the way, so many of the Arabs do it, and I'm assuming all the other fucking tradespeople do it. You work hard in the summer, and they're all on EI in the winter.
Yeah,
that's the game. It's seasonal, like fucking, and then it's all cash work, all finishing basements, interior drywall, plaster, cash, and then in the summer, like framing for like on
literally whatever it is on call.
Yeah, you gotta have the hours.
Alberta is calling.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, Alberta is calling.
Yeah, Alberta.
Do framing on the books just so you can get EI in the winter.
Be our slave instead of Ontario's slave. It'll be fun. Alberta is calling.
I saw a billboard for London. This makes me laugh because, I grew up in London. I was just at DuPont in Dovercourt. It was like, film in London.
Please.
Hey, Toronto, film in London.
Please.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, London's 2 hours away. Hey, is it a hassle to film in Toronto and really expensive and a lot of red tape? Come to London.
Come to London. It's so different.
Yeah, we've got the forest city. We have trees.
We got breweries.
Do you like pine? Yeah, exactly. Do you like pine and meth?
We got Harvey's. It's brutal, man.
Yeah,
but the country's nice.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's way
despite
more civilized.
The last 20 minutes of shit talking, it's
imagine
very
like
peaceful.
The backwoods of America, and you were going to do a tour, and you get there, and you're like, oh, this is the kind of bar my folks warn me about.
Yeah, man, because I used to work in Tennessee all the time, and if you're in Nashville, it's sick. It's just Toronto.
Nashville's great. Yeah,
it's just Toronto, but. There's something outside, dude. You know that feeling when you're in African lion safari,
like,
and like the monkeys could come, a lion could come to your car. Yep. You're like, just drive slow, we're all good. When you go a couple hours outside of Nashville as a black guy in small, it's the exact same feeling. But you're just like, oh fuck,
dude. The Jack Daniel's distillery is in Lynchburg.
That's Tennessee. A dry county. You know that?
Yeah,
you cannot drink there.
I know. Because of the alcoholism.
It's not even, it's because of God. It's like an old fucking religious
town is called
thing.
Lynchburg.
Yeah. It's Jewish and hateful at the same time.
Yeah, it's like we lynch, but
it's
the
contradicting,
Jews are
right?
here. Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you. I drove with a friend some years ago in Kentucky and Tennessee and did the Bourbon Trail.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I have to go back, actually.
How was it?
It's great. My barrel's ready. I got my name on a barrel, and they're going to cask it, and they're going to pour out the whiskey into bottles, and I have to be there. It's from now until February.
No fucking way.
My own whiskey, yeah.
Wait, explain this to me. How long ago is this?
6.5 years ago.
So 6.5 years ago, what's the Bourbon Trail? I've been to...
During
Louisville.
Prohibition.
I've been to Louisville, but nothing else.
It's near Louisville. During the Prohibition, they went into the woods, like the backwoods, and they built distilleries, and they made their own bourbon because the government's like, you can't drink anymore.
Gotcha.
And they made their own bourbon, and then they've just been doing it ever since. And they took it to market. Obviously, it's legit now. Maker's Mark, Jim Beam, like all these.
They're all there.
They're all there.
Is it still surrounded by forests, or has it been deforested?
It's hidden, yeah.
It's literally hidden.
It's hidden.
You go through, you can tell like this was clearly a hidden operation back in the day.
Yes.
So you go through, then there's now it's a full tourist. It's a full operational plant, and they've got like a tourist tour thing. Mm-hmm. And so you went there, and you pay what to?
It's free at Maker's Mark to do that. You become an ambassador.
Why?
Because they just want you to come back, I guess. It said Southern Hospitality. Yeah. Well, I don't even know if that's the plan ultimately, because you don't even have to buy any of the barrels. But they do that. They give you a certificate. They show you they give you a picture of your barrel. When you get there, they take you on the tour. They're like, your barrel was in this area, and then we moved it up there because they rotated and they put it higher and lower in the barn
heat and stuff. Really?
Yeah, to like change the texture, the flavor. Like the oak barrel ages differently. like through the summer and winter, and when they rotate it and they put it higher or lower, higher is hotter and lower is a little bit cooler.
They're like, oh, this one's been exposed to too much heat.
They bring it back down. Yeah, they control it.
They're
They
like,
obviously
this will this batch is gonna create a lot of DUIs.
Yes,
this one's
gonna
got a lot of heat to it.
Yeah, this one's gonna send babies into the the ER.
Yeah, right. Or this is gonna have what is it? Alcohol fetus syndrome.
Fetal alcohol syndrome.
This is good, dude.
Ooh, this baby gonna be devastated.
Wait, you didn't pay for the tour though. You have to pay for the tour.
I think what happens is you give them some money for the tour, but it's like less than $20. They really take you on this like epic tour of like the distillery. They give you like a lot of background.
Of makers.
Yeah, and I did the Jim Beam
Beam
one. I did the Jack Daniels one. I didn't go.
I feel like the Jack Daniels one is probably the most commercial one.
Jack Daniels. There's a lot more people.
A lot more people. Probably the most tour cost.
Yeah, there's like a tour bus. Of
all right,
like,
everybody. You want to keep. If you're at any point you are confused, you want to look down, and there are arrows. We will be following the arrows. It's always like that.
That one just feels way more like you went to Wonderland.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas these other ones are like the CNE or something. Like it's like
it's almost artistic.
Yeah, it's cooler and it's more dangerous.
I would go to the Jim Beam probably because I just like that.
The Jim Beam one is like right like the first one.
Yeah.
So like once you do that, you're like, let's go a little bit deeper on this trail.
All Makers on the same day.
Like you can do these in the same day. I think I did them on multiple days, but because also you drink.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So it's like you got to stay in a motel around there.
So you're fucked up by the end of the tour, or you're like
you can get fucked up, but you know. They all are aware that you drove
the
there.
parking lot's full. Yeah, exactly.
So they're like, you know, it's a 2-drink maximum, but they'll sell you whatever.
That's like the life of comedians, where it's like you go to a show out of town.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, come to my Kitchener gig. Can you drive, by the way? Yeah, sure. It pays $40, but there's 3 drink tickets.
Yeah.
It's like,
and
you
it's
know
at a brewery.
I'm driving.
Yeah.
You know I'm driving.
Yeah. They're like, why aren't you having a beer, man? You're not having a good time. You're like,
no one will ask the question.
Yeah.
No one will be like,
I know.
You know what I mean? No.
But it was fun, man. It was good. I have to go back.
So I don't understand that though. I know now that I realize that I was out there so long. Fuck, I didn't go to that. I didn't go to what's his fucking name? Elvis's house, whatever that.
Oh, yeah.
Graceland or whatever the fuck it's called. But so you paid, and I'm still just trying to wrap my mind as a cheap immigrant. I'm like, wait, so you paid less than $20? They put your name on it, or it's like captured in the system, like digitally.
They do it that day or something. So you like sign up.
I feel like.
You can sign up online.
Are they doing it all regardless? Like these are unnamed barrels that will go through this process.
They're making so much
regardless.
bourbon, yeah.
So it's like we might as well have some
monetize this.
Not even, but you said you don't pay.
I'll
for
go
anything.
back and buy the bottles, right?
So they told you
can dip
this
them
is
yourself
a
too.
Faraz Niafattah, fucking
barrel of bourbon.
It's 1 barrel.
Yeah, I think other people's names from the tour are on it too. Like whoever signed up that day, they put all of our names on it. It's a big barrel.
Gotcha. So it's every day they capture all the visitors.
The ones who want to be an ambassador, right?
Gotcha.
And then the cool thing is they send you shit every Christmas. So every Christmas since 5-6 years ago, they send me, the first year was like socks. Then they sent me a deck of cards. And it's like Maker's Mark.
This is how you get business back. If a company did that shit, I would literally feel
religiously
like
they mail you something.
I would feel like in debt to them. I'm a loyal motherfucker. I'd be like, fuck, I gotta between now and February I gotta go to Tennessee and fucking go get. So did they say you get like a couple bottles? How does
as many as you want, I think.
Because
they know that you're not going to buy that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but they've casket and you have a barrel number as the ID.
Yeah.
They have those bottles aside. They haven't dipped them in that wax that Makers has like to seal the bottle. So you can do that yourself.
What's that?
That's just how they seal the whiskey. Is, you know, most people just like put like a plastic wrap and then you have to like tear it off to open a bottle.
Yeah.
You know, there's a seal. Theirs is in wax. Red wax.
Like old postage.
Yeah, exactly. Postage
and then they just
stamp.
let it. Doesn't it drip down?
It does. That's the cool part. And none of the bottles look the same because they hand dip them, right?
Was it Maker's whiskey?
Maker's bourbon. Maker's Mark bourbon.
Maker's Mark.
It's pretty sick.
Bourbon.
You can do it there. So like they'll be like, do you want to hand dip these? And someone kind of supervises you so you don't put the whole thing in your arm in there too. And you're like, oh,
that's
burning.
so fucking sick.
Yeah.
Yo, and I've had this and I like this too.
Maker's is by far the best.
Wow. Yo, I might just buy this. Is LCBO closed tonight?
Yeah.
I think I might just get fucked up tonight for no reason. Dude, that's so sick.
Yeah.
And it all comes different, huh?
Yeah.
Yo, that is...
And they have different makers. When you're there too, they have stuff that they don't sell in Canada, which is cool. They have like ballpark makers and like all these different like offshoots. They have like high alcohol Maker's Mark out there. They got some that are like 90 proof and more than 90 proof. 90 proof is like the 45%. Like they have like some serious like
the 150 proof.
Yeah, some like 60% alcohol. Like my friend who went with me, he got, because you get 2 shots of whichever whiskey you want. They're like, we have this wall of whiskey and bourbon. Was
this guy white? This guy couldn't have been.
No,
white.
He's Persian.
Yeah, exactly. Give me the highest percentage.
He went directly to the high percent, and he pressed the button twice and filled his glass with 2 shots of that. The people were, it was so good, man. People are walking around like, oh, like maybe this like light one, the 30%. Let me try that one first, and then I'll work up to. And my friend's just at the fucking 69% one, and he pressed it twice.
An immigrant would go to a buffet being allergic to crustaceans and be like, give me the lobster twice. I just want to
the most expensive one. I want to do damage.
I want to feel like I got my money's worth. I can't eat this, but give me the steak and the lobster.
Yeah.
I don't like any of this shit, but give it to me.
Just got lit. But it's good bourbon, I will say. And you can walk around and see how they make it, and you can see how the other guys do it. At Jack Daniel's, they light a stack of maple wood crates on fire every like week, and they take that charcoal and they lay it out flat, and then they distill their moonshine. It's like everything is moonshine until it goes through either a barrel aging or through charcoal.
That gives hilarious. It that color. So it always starts with blinding.
It's moonshine,
100%. And then they slowly bring it down to reality.
They sort of filter it through something. Bourbon's not filtered. So it goes in a barrel and ages, and that's what gives it its color. It soaks in the oak, and it soaks in all these flavors that they add in there.
Oh, gotcha.
But the whiskey, which differentiates itself.
But it's also got color.
It goes through charcoal. It filters through. They literally lay charcoal flat in a vat, and then the moonshine drips through like you would make a drip coffee.
Gotcha.
So the hot water goes on the coffee grind and comes out like that. That's how they do it.
But for whiskey. For the bourbon, they put moonshine in the thing?
It is basically, well, they don't put the 100% thing. They dilute it or whatever to the 45% so they can make it, because when you sell it, you can't be like, it's around 45.
It's got to be pretty,
maybe it's 55. Just keep out away from your kids and your dog and cat. Like, it's just different. But it's, it's what kind of flavor palette you like, what kind of filtering. Some guys are really intense about it. They're like, well, it went through the filtering, so it's actually technically a whiskey and not a bourbon. It's like the raw ingredients are all the same.
Exactly.
And they light that stack of those crates of maple with whiskey. So they always...
everything is
just, like they don't... Because people were like, how do you guys light this? Every week, some of the tours, you get to witness that. If you were there like on the Tuesday, they just light this huge fire, and then they put it out to take the charcoal. But they're like, how do you guys light this? And they're like, with the whiskey.
With the whiskey. So the done whiskey lights it.
Yeah.
And then they create, it's a fucking self-serving process.
And that water is limestone. It comes from they have like mountains there, small mountains, and the water kind of feeds through the limestone in the mountain, and they use that water and from that stream to make all the Jack Daniel's whiskey.
Isn't it awesome that all this beauty and intricacy goes to making a bottle that
getting
just alcoholics like can't live without? It just becomes the fuel of alcoholism. Like all of that is forgotten and lost.
It's this beautiful art of killing yourself.
All like it's so funny. I'm tracking. We cut the oak, and three of us hand carry the oak.
Virgins do it
exactly, right, with little wings, right? And then it makes it to LCBO on St. Clair with a guy on a bottle just out front.
He's just like wiped out. He's like, God damn, I keep drinking this goddamn whiskey. I can't see straight. How many fingers? Yeah, those guys get mangled, man. But it was great, man. When I was out in Kentucky, I went to a convenience store, and they had a hat that said American Sniper on it, and I just bought it. I was like, I'm just buying this. It was $5.
That's so fun. Did it have a crossfire target?
It was like the military camo.
Yeah,
the entire hat,
of course.
And then in big block letters, it said American Sniper.
I just thought it would. In my mind, it has the target and over the target and over the camo.
Just a village in Afghanistan blowing up.
Yeah, exactly. like
you want to buy this hat?
I got the Kentucky tour.
Yeah, exactly. They have caves there.
Sick.
They have huge caves in Kentucky, Mammoth Caves.
Carlsbad Caverns?
It's just called the Mammoth Cave, like something like that. It's just like this cave system where it just goes on and on. They still haven't discovered a
man-made
lot of
or no? This is like
legit cave.
Wow.
And that's where that water is pooling, all that fresh water.
Oh, word.
Rainwater hits the mountain, goes through these cracks, filters through the limestone.
Does the whiskey process? That's the
It
original.
enhances.
whiskey process.
It really does enhance their whiskey, though.
They use that mineral water in their whiskey.
Yeah, it's good
Well, I
for
guess
you.
they use it to make their moonshine.
Yeah.
And then that's in
Well, the
thing.
moon once it's moonshine, it's like there's no more benefit.
yeah.
All the alcohol's killed everything. There's
Yeah.
only alcohol left in this solution, and then you get some tree matter in there, like charcoal or barrel.
But there's some minerals.
There's some
Don't
minerals
forget
in
some
them
minerals.
trees, and then you just get murked. You get drunker than you've ever been, and then they eat barbecue.
Of
So
course
everything
they-
is smoked.
That's the thing that I do. That's the tours that I do. I do the barbecue stuff.
Yeah.
I do the dude. When I went to Austin, Austin's barbecue culture is so deep and so like next level. I went to like a really popular spot 2 hours before it closed, and it was like a fucking Best Buy boxing line.
Oh, man.
lineup like S. And to the point that the people in front of me, they did something. There's an app in Austin where a motherfucker comes waits in line for you. Line waiting app.
Yeah, yeah.
So you just bring a guy in, and it's probably
That's
just some
insane.
seat guy just comes, and
just
he's
like,
doing like he's on the phone doing customer
getting
service
close,
for TD.
I'm getting close,
He's
where are
doing- he's in line
Yeah.
doing like, "Sir, have you tried unplugging it, sir?" Like he's doing 9 jobs.
Wow. If you don't mind waiting in line, man, that's your career path.
Well, I'm assuming they pay at least minimum wage, and
God
you're like, "It's
damn.
good. I get my standing in
Yeah,
for the
but
day."
Kentucky's minimum wage is like $5.
Is it?
Probably.
No, I don't think-
If you look at, I'm pretty sure they're still at like $7.
If you just love having Google.
yeah, minimum wage, like by
Minimum
state,
wage-
Tennessee,
I was-
Kentucky, like
New
Florida,
York and California is
Alabama.
probably the
Alabama's
highest.
probably
Alabama's $7.25,
yeah,
baby.
yeah, make it
If
work.
Alabama's $7.25, Kentucky's higher.
Probably
Alabama's going to be higher, worse
Yeah.
than Kentucky.
Yeah.
Kentucky. $7.25, brother.
Wow.
You fucking, that's Alabama
Let's go.
levels. Mississippi.
We're celebrating poverty.
Yeah, right. Fuck 'em.
Ski-
All of the worst
ski.
states are $7.25, which is
Wow.
probably the federal mandated
Yeah,
minimum.
it literally is. Just make a wish, guys.
New Hampshire, still $7.25. I didn't know. New York City, $15. New York, $13.20. Let's see.
Wow.
California,
Yeah, California will be higher.
15 or 25 or fewer employees, 14, 26 or more, 15.
Oh, it's tiered.
It's tiered. That's actually
Interesting.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
'Cause
if you're a small
sometimes-
business, you might not be able to pay people
Exactly.
more.
Every time it goes up in Canada, they're like minimum wage is now 20. I'm like,
Every small
I've
business,
worked
like,
with businesses that I'm like, oh, they're fucked. Dude.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
fucked.
Well, that's why when you go get a coffee and like a croissant from like a local place, you're like $17. Holy shit, man.
I
It's
know.
like, yeah, well, I got to pay the guy behind the counter $12 for that hour that it took to make all this. And then, you know, the $5 is to actually cover the coffee and the croissant.
Don't get me started on that shit. There's a coffee shop. I like writing at coffee shops. I love that shit.
Yeah.
And it's like the comedian's office kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a new barista there who stands next to the iPad while you do the tip thing and looks at you.
Oh,
I've never
They usually
had
look
someone
away
where
or
human decency would dictate that you move, look away, avert your eye contact,
and then
something.
I hit no tip.
This bitch is
Skip.
like
She's
so
just
out
like-
of touch. She's just like,
she's like,
I literally
Abbas.
was like,
She's like Abbas.
and what kills me is I got pressured to tipping, and it fucked with me all day because I felt weak. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yep.
I was like, fuck, and it was 60 cents. It was
Yeah.
$4, 15 or $4.60, whatever. 60 cents. But I felt so weak the whole day. I'm like, fuck.
That's hard,
Ah,
man. That's
you know
hard.
what I mean?
That's
Like, I
hard.
should've-
Where is
I
it?
sh-
Around here?
It's fucking craft coffee on St. Clair.
Never
Now,
heard of it.
now she got. I think someone literally told her
They're like, "Yo,
now
bitch, stop
I
doing this."
realize she'll do the thing and she'll turn around, which is the decent thing to do. You don't, you know, even
I want to see what kind of a guy you are.
everyone's got their own technique on restaurants. They love to. I hate the bitch that makes small talk. Never talked to you once. Was like this, and
Yeah.
then right when she drops it, any weekend plans?
Yeah.
Like bitch,
Yeah.
you had
yeah,
your
get out of here.
chance.
Even still, man, like if your stuff is reasonably priced, then I will endeavor to give you a tip. But if, you know, you tell me the total, like I'm telling you, there's this coffee shop that I went to recently that was $12 for a coffee and like this like specialty cinnamon croissant.
I was gonna say if it's a scone, those scones are $6.25, bro.
And I was like, and the thing prompted me for a tip, and I was like, and it was one of those ones where you had to go custom.
Yeah.
They didn't have a no
There's
skip.
9 buttons to get to know.
Yeah, yeah. So I did it, and I was like, yo, like, come follow me on this tour, buddy. Custom, 0, okay.
Yeah. Dude, and another thing that pisses me off is when you go to places and they're you know, they have 3 preset tips.
Yeah.
When your basic is 20, I'm like, man, fuck you guys.
Living,
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
How is it 20, 25, 30? What world are you living in?
We're sort of hovering in this like weird zone of like we all kind of just make shit money and we're all just trying to get that money from each other. And then at the top, these like psychopath fucking decision maker billionaires of the world that have
Just
all
keep
the funding
inflating.
are just getting bigger and richer. And it's like we can't touch them because
And they're all consolidating too.
I
So
know.
they're becoming like from 3 billionaires to like 1 trillionaire. And
I can't sell these corporations anything. Except for maybe your comedy eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
But you won't even get a fair deal because they have all the power. They're like, we own all the outlets. We own everything. So,
on that note, I just did my first shout out to Brock University. Mad Sudani kids at Brock. We just did our first. Dude, me, Edward Kim, Jordan Palachik.
Nice.
It was awesome. It was a 90-minute
Nice.
show. It was fucking great.
That's
and
sick.
they loved it. And check this out. I asked for X amount of money. And after the fact, I asked the VP of of Student Association who hired me. I go, hey, off the record, what was your budget?
Yo.
You know what I mean? And her budget was 2.5x. Okay? So she goes, you way underquoted. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I'm like, fuck. And she's like, in fact, you guys underquoted so much that we didn't book you for O Week because we were under the impression that you guys were a smaller act show, so to speak. And she's like, so we hired people from Comedy Records for O Week, and your show was 10 times better. So I was like, oh, fuck.
What's O Week?
Orientation Week, bro.
Oh, I thought they just called it Frosh Week.
Frosh Week. Yeah, a lot of people, Western, a lot of people call it O Week, Frosh Week, same thing. Synonyms.
Wow.
But like, we underquoted to the point that they're like, oh, this isn't a Frosh
Comedy
Week
Records.
level.
Yeah, that's Barry Taylor's thing.
That's a bunch of... But anyways, our show was apparently 10 times better from her point of view.
10 times.
10 times. Well, in reality, obviously not. Like, how do you...
Yeah, 10 times.
It was a better show.
So they bombed and blew up
I
the
don't
place.
know what the fuck happened. But you know how, like...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're all young, and we're all like, there's mad foreign kids at this school.
Well, it's a lesson learned for you. Now you have this benchmark of like what university budgets are, or you can have that
and
conversation.
they're a small university too. They're a small university,
Yeah,
so it's like
ones,
now
bigger.
I have. So it's like it's trial and error. That's the problem with comedy that people don't realize is that no one is telling us what the benchmark is. There's no like if you want to be a product manager at company Y. You go online, product manager, Glassdoor. You get a range for 100 companies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Almost so many other industries will give you comedies the one time or every now and then. Like I remember, I forget what's his name, made a post being like, all right, just in case, just so you guys wondering, a feature should get 80. A host should get 150.
Yeah.
A headliner should get a minimum 250. Like,
Yeah.
like you just actually,
I know.
But you never
It's
see
sad,
that
yeah.
shit. So
I
I'm
know.
like, that's debatable, and that's like a good range.
Damn.
But like, no one ever says that. And no one ever shares it.
Yeah, it's hard.
if you get approached by a fucking corporation, now I'm slow. Here's another one. That Winnipeg people that hired me, shout out to them. Canadian Islamic Relief.
Hell yeah.
Dude, these guys, they make money in halal ways.
Oh.
That's they invest your money in halal ways, okay? It was actually a blast. No shit talking to them. Great people. Shout out to the CEO, Jesse. Jesse Reitberger. I'm like, bro, are you Jewish? He's like, everyone says that. No, he's like a convert, but like,
nice,
amazing organization. Like,
that's
sick. They hooked it up. Everything was great. But I was like, what do you guys do? It's like, imagine a client comes to you. It's like, how do you grow my money halal? It's like, well, we'll buy low and inshallah we'll sell high. You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna tell them? You know, like, but. These guys were sick, and I know I underquoted them. I even told them because, like, at the second I said my price, he sent it to like lock. No one ever.
They got excited. They're like,
yeah, it's locked in. Here you go. Here's your deposit.
Yeah.
Here's your thing.
Yeah,
I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, I know. You're like, there was more there.
There was more there. It was like, you know what I mean? It was like going to Value Village and finding like a fucking Louis Vuitton coat for $10, and you don't even
run
care.
To the cashier.
You're just like, buy it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Let me just.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Move.
It was a gold rush.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck. I felt like such an idiot.
But if you do a good job, and then they might call you back.
They're like, we gotta work about. They're like, we gotta talk about the next one. Whatever.
Yeah, we'll give you a top up too.
But hey, Jesse, remember, yesterday's price is not today's price.
Yeah,
you know
inflation,
what I'm talking
bro.
about, man.
Inflation's at like 17%, you know what I mean? Eggs are like $10. That's why this Halloween I'm not going egging.
Yeah.
It's too expensive.
All of those fucking people that didn't give you Mars bars last year, you kept the list. You know?
I kept a list, but the eggs are too expensive.
It's like your
waiting
maker's
for a sale.
It's like your maker's fucking list.
My whiskey.
You're like, I'm coming back for you in 6
My
years.
bourbon. But even that, I might get 2 bottles of
Dude,
it. and
if you
just bring
buy,
it back.
if you get one, they give you a preferred. It's
They
cheaper,
will
right?
sell
Even
me.
if it's not. You
I
gotta
should
buy
read
it.
this
You
email
just gotta
because
buy
they
it.
told me there's like you can literally. I think there's like no limit, like or as much as the barrel can handle. Like some people may not
But
even
there's
know,
an
right?
actual limit depending on how long you're in the United States for alcohol you can bring back though. So keep that.
Yeah, but then if I bring people with me,
72 hours. Yeah, I guess you could divvy it up.
right? Like it says your barrel batch is officially ready. And then it says you can RSVP. Heads up, you may need a ticket. They sent me a golden ticket. It literally is like Willy Wonka.
He's got a golden ticket.
Yeah, it's a nice looking ticket too. It like they put effort into it. That's what I mean. You're like these people, and it says book a tour, and it's like, Rob Samuels signed the thing, the grandson of the founder of Maker's Mark. They make you feel special. You're like, oh, really? So
Did
from
everyone have
October,
an awesome Southern accent and
they're really nice.
Were they super into it?
Dude, when I went there, they had the nicest lobby, like hangout area. There was like super fast Wi-Fi. You're in the middle of nowhere. You start seeing signs for
T1
missing
connection?
people.
Yeah.
Like you're like, this is Kentucky.
Like posted. Like printed
Sheriff
on.
Sheriff Doug, like do your job and find my daughter. Like signs
Actually.
like that. Yeah.
Fuck
on the high.
yes.
There was dogs just running wild. Like you know how there's stray dogs in like the Middle East or whatever? Like they had that in Kentucky. There's just beautiful dogs just running around, and you're like, there's no collar on these dogs. I guess
Like not rabied.
no, just like
well-kept,
dogs, just like
beautiful
dogs
coats.
running around. Yeah, that place is fascinating for many reasons, but
I feel like if I went there and like they're these Southerners who are like, what are they? They're not brewmasters, right? They're
it says as many as you want, pretty much. No, they're I guess they're called
bourbon masters or whatever the fuck.
Let's do the search. I feel like there's a name.
What is a bourbon maker called? What is a bourbon
Someone who
maker
it's got
called?
because there's beer master.
Master distiller.
Master
It's
distiller.
the title often used for
I feel like I
distilling
should have
expert, a
known
key
that.
leader and owner of modern distillery. I feel like if you went to a master distiller in Kentucky or Tennessee or something, their daddy did it and their granddaddy did it and their grandpappy
My
did
daddy
it.
and my granddaddy and my granddaddy's granddaddy and your daddy's daddy and my daddy beats me, and then
Yeah,
it just
you're
keeps
right,
going
like,
on,
oh,
and you're
fuck.
like, where's this going?
It's like, I need a scratch card. But like these type of industries, I have a lot of respect for. Stuff like carpentry, stuff like anything that humans have been doing for literally thousands of years.
Yeah.
The amount of knowledge that
Gets
could have
passed
been
down.
generationally passed down is like older than fucking science itself. Like
I know.
It's wild.
I know, but some of these things, like even
And then at the end of
They get lost.
this, drink responsibly.
okay,
Immigrant Section is sponsored by
yeah,
a mad organization.
y'all better not
Drink
drink and
responsible.
drive. Don't drink, drive. Don't hit your kids. Okay, get counseling.
They're like, if anyone needs a cab, we've got that phone there connected to
Yeah.
the cab. You
lines are open.
You're like, the phone it's not actually active. They're like, figure it out, buddy.
Yeah, 1-800
just drive.
Habibi.
Yeah.
Dude,
Pussy. No, it just says pussy. Just drive, pussy.
You can do it. Yeah, imagine. Dude, I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of knowledge that gets lost. Like Iran used to make a lot of wine, like for God knows how many thousands of years. And then, Islamic
Yeah, I was
Revolution,
gonna
they
say, when
stopped
did
making
that?
it.
Was that the Ottoman Empire? When did it hit Iran?
When Iran was making wine, whoever figured it out, we were probably one of the first.
Actually, what I heard about that recently, where it's like, was it you? Something about wine. Something about the vineyards. Iranian vineyards were like the highest.
They were
level,
top notch.
right?
Yeah,
They were the highest.
A
level.
lot of things in Iran were top notch. Then these idiots came and took over, and then just ruined the country slowly, selling the natural resources. They're like, China, come and just take stuff. Like empty the sea of all the fish and take all the trees, and they're just selling whatever they can.
Like you got dolphins. The Japanese come out of nowhere. Dolphins?
Dolphins? What? Irani dolphins? Club them.
Yeah, exactly. Just got the fucking
There's
sharp.
There's so much. There's so much that hopefully this current.
What's Iran's main export now besides
Oil.
like TAs?
Just oil.
Every
Yeah.
university
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the fucking.
Just oil, man. That's why this whole uprising is so important to a lot of different people because of the oil supply. They
Explain.
can go into the wrong hands. They just
Is that why price? Because I have diesel.
no. Russia's attacking the oil price way more than Iran is right now. Like,
Okay, just
whatever
update
the Russian,
me real quick because you know this shit. It seems is Saudi Arabia the global leader of oil?
They're probably one of the biggest producers.
And then besides that, it is Russia.
Russians are up there. Iran is up there. Iraq
Iran is up there from a global point of view.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not official because because of sanctions, Iran can't sell to like Europe and North America, so they sell to China. No one is really recording how that's going. But
Well, and Africa probably. But like
whoever, dictators.
Explain that to me though. Like I know you're in. Why, under what basis do they say Iran you cannot sell to Europe because you have a nuclear program? Why can't they sell to Europe?
There's many layers to their sanctions. Their latest, layer is this protest where Massa was.
But why would
they
the
care?
European Union being like,
Would
you
listen
guys
to
have your
America?
people have some level of dissent with your government? We don't need your oil right now. Like I don't get
Because
that.
because that money's going to the government. It's not going to the people. Same as here. When Canada sells our oil to whatever private corporation, do we get a dividend?
No.
But the Norwegians do, and other
And the
places that
Kuwaitis
tried to nationalize their oil.
Yeah.
But here it's like, what? Give our citizens money for the resources that we've displaced communities to extract? Why would we do that? That's stupid. We just give it to the corporation who invested and created jobs, and
They
you
should be
need
happy.
them. Yeah, you should
Yeah.
be grateful that you could get lead poisoning working at one of our plants. It's fantastic. I love the pollution. It's
It's Aaron Brockovich all over.
yeah.
again.
Drink that water. It's let's go to Flint. It's excellent. I
Can we
heard
get a
the water.
push up, bro? I know how the story goes.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're sanctioned. They can't sell there because they got this shit.
They sell to China. China trades goods for oil. Like
Gotcha.
we're getting like stolen iPads for like oil.
They're like, yeah, exactly. What is it like? What's the price of what's a barrel now? Like $1.50?
Oh, the per liter? No, a barrel is
A
like
barrel of
60
oil.
something probably.
Yeah,
Something like
price
that.
is so high right now. So
we can look the exact number up, but
I don't want to keep looking this shit up. I usually have Dante for that shit, but the motherfucker's on vacation.
but it literally it is being controlled by Russia, like supply.
yeah.
So if they want to pull supply back, then they'll drive the price up so we feel it at the pumps.
Yeah.
But it's they're full on war. Iran is still a revolution at the moment.
You're talking about Russia, Ukraine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's a war.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Biden's on TV, like we're sending everything,
AK-47s.
everything under the sun. He's like proud of it. Like you see those videos in Romania, like those freight trains, like those heavy rail that are just shipping tanks into Ukraine, like just like the longest chain of tanks you've ever seen. It's like, when does this video end? It's like 10 minutes long of just like tanks going into Ukraine.
But it's also like, what the fuck are they gonna do? It's like Southwestern Ontario being at war against America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
we're sending London and Windsor all these
Yeah.
tanks. It's like, what the? That's not.
Yeah. Well, because, it's definitely helping because Russia's not winning. America's just giving them whatever. They're just like,
But why isn't America? Because if America goes there and actually has a presence on
Yeah.
land, then that is a direct.
Americans don't want any more soldiers to die. It's like bad.
Well,
For
it's
their
just because they
politics.
know they can't actually rob any resources, right? There's no resources to rob.
Yeah. There's other things at play though.
Are there?
Yeah, I think like the Ukrainian conflict is in their benefit because they just want to kind of take out their enemies. So Russia being an enemy
So they can fight Russia
through
via
it's
the
a proxy
proxy of
Yeah,
Ukraine.
that's literally all it is. And then
But they don't. Even America can't think like Ukraine is going to defeat Russia. They're going to fight and resist that invasion, but
Yeah.
they're not going to hurt Russia. They're
No.
just resisting the invasion.
Russia's pretty self-sufficient already.
Yeah.
So they don't necessarily need the rest of the world for anything. And this is more of just like, Putin had a red line in the sand and he was like, not Ukraine for NATO. And then we just took every single country that used to be Soviet and we were like, come on, join the West. But they want to join the West. I don't know why. It's not that great. Everyone thinks it's going to be so good. And you're like,
Starbucks, man. You don't want Starbucks?
You don't want to be a corporate slave. You don't want 2 weeks vacation.
Starbucks,
It's sick.
man.
It's the best. We're having the best time.
So what do you see? So explain to me more what's happening in the situation with Iran. Because all I know is obviously the government is not it's not a secular government, right?
This is a dictatorship.
It's a dictatorship, but it's like very fundamentalist.
Yeah. Under the banner of Islam.
Under the banner of Islam. So people, obviously, there's been dissent in general for a long time. And then the one girl gets killed.
Yeah. Mahsa
Amini. She's not people made that very clear to me because I had an episode where I was like, is she an activist? Everyone fucking 100 DMs.
I know.
She's not an activist. She was just a girl.
She was just a girl.
She was just a girl. I'm like, okay, she's not. I don't know.
She was like not covering her hair fully.
Yeah, some hair
and
was
she's
out.
like on a trip to Tehran.
Yeah,
just like hanging out.
She's from like the boonies, and she came.
Yeah,
to
and
the
they
city.
just like wrapped her up and just beat her to death. And they're like, oh, she had like a pre-existing condition. Like that's what she died of. It wasn't us.
So what are these fucking
she had
people
organ
call themselves
failure.
COVID or some shit? Like
There's
that.
two
Fucking,
other
what the fuck?
teenagers in Iran that one of them was missing. Like I forget their name, Zina, something like that. There's two girls that are like 16 and 17, and they both went missing. One went missing for 10 days, and they're like, she fell off a roof, she jumped off or whatever. They just like can't even get their story straight. They're like, you beat the shit out of her.
So they all have like
it's just making people more angry.
They're all like,
it's just making people more angry. This time, this is like more real. Like when Neda. There were years ago, there was an uprising. They shot a protester through the chest, this woman who died. And there was an uprising for like a few days, but this is now a month in.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is the real deal.
is it catching steam or is it slowing down?
More cities are joining.
What's happening in Tehran? Like
it's not just there. It's all the other cities too. But every day they go out, they protest.
But are
unarmed.
Blockades, roads blocked?
All kinds of
Everyone
stuff.
is not going
the
to work.
Universities, the high school. Yeah, there's strikes.
Kids aren't going to school every day.
No, they're protesting.
Every day. People are not
Every
going to
day.
work. Like it's full on Egypt, Sudan, like full on like
it's starting to
fuck
be
the
like this is how
government.
you fuck this government up is you don't show up to work and
Yeah.
you don't go to school and you don't do anything except block the streets and make a big stink.
And
But they're
what is-
shooting people.
Yeah. What are they saying? What are they demanding? What's his name? Step down?
Yeah. No, they're like they want change. They're just
Like, we want
screaming like get the
democracy?
fuck out. Yeah. It's time. You guys have tortured and stolen enough from this country.
How long the current president or dictator? What's his name?
Khamenei.
How long has he been in power?
Since Khomeini died, the guy before him.
How
It's
long-
funny
so
that they were trying to.
years-wise?
They were trying to. It's been for the last like I would say 50 years.
He's been in power 5-0?
No. The first guy was in power for some time. He died in like, I don't know, the 90s or the 2000s. They had like that huge funeral. You can watch it on YouTube. It's insane. People
Or it's like
hanging
millions
from
of
like
people.
helicopters
Yeah,
and
I
shit.
think
Yeah.
you told me that. Yeah.
That thing's insane.
They
And
loved him? Did the
loved
people
him.
love him?
The insane
Or is
people.
it like dictatorship love?
Yeah, the
Saddam Hussein
no.
love?
There's like because right now they're calling for those people to come out against this protest. They're like these are the anti-revolutionaries. We had a revolution, and they brought this like bullshit, and then
So the current guy.
and so now that there's people revolting in the streets, they're calling on those people to come out and be like, "Yo, like get in their faces and try to shut this down." They came out a couple Fridays after prayer
Yeah.
to like push and shove, but it's like the vast majority of people are on the side of change.
Yeah.
And so they're just getting bulldozed. But
So this happened the last change in power was a result of a revolution.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who got it has been in power since the 90s?
no, well, he died and he had his successor. So there was
Was
the
his
first
successor like his son or his cousin? Or
some
was it
like
his
some
same
friendly
shit?
friendly cunt, yeah.
Gotcha.
Some like gross guy.
Same
Same thing.
Same shit.
Like carbon
Gotcha.
copy. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And he's the supreme leader, but he's like unwell. He's like very ill. He was on like
Putin
TV,
style.
the state TV, and he's like, "No, I'm still there." But he's like holding his like liver. He's like, and then his prostate. He's like, and they're just taking it in the ass. Good. And the Kurds too. Like there's Iranian Kurdistan Northwest,
Yeah.
and they're also, but they're getting the backlash from the Revolutionary Guard, the Basij.
The Kurds are always getting fucked wherever they are. in
They
the
get
world.
hit the hardest.
Yeah.
So like in the major cities in Iran, there's protesting and there's a lot of people who go missing but like the Kurdistan region, because they're also a separatist region, kind of like Quebec, if you will.
yeah.
They are getting like
They're just
at
shooting.
night, they're just shooting people and they're like, well, they killed one of our soldiers, so we had to go wipe out this village. And
So Israel, Palestine shit.
so I feel like there's a chance that maybe like Kurdistan gets weapons somehow through Iraq, and then it becomes like a civil war slowly. Because America's the West. People are like, why aren't they listening? You have to like post on Instagram so that it's like, yo, the governments of the world know, you know, they're just deciding what to do. I think they're waiting to see, because if you send help, it might not be accepted. You might create this thing where there's
Help
a common
to the
enemy.
government or help to the
To the people. So like in Syria, right?
Yeah.
Who armed them? Who gave these guys weapons?
Russia gave
to some,
Yeah.
to the pro-Assad
yeah.
people, but then who gave the rebels weapons?
I don't know, it was America?
Through America. Somehow it winds up there. Because America's like, oh, Russia's involved. Sick. Well, check this out. We're going to fucking... Who's against them?
So Russia is directly with the government of Iran, right?
Yeah, but they're so stretched right now that
Like-
Russia's not even a
Okay,
thing
gotcha.
right now.
So
anymore.
Russia's just dealing with Ukraine. So
They're so busy. They're
Gotcha.
like, oh, shit, Iran's also
so Iran's
going.
kind of on their own.
Yeah.
So if Ukraine somehow is solved, which
It can't.
it can't,
It can't.
and then Russia goes, you know what? Sorry, we were so busy.
Here we
Iran,
are.
here's the help. Then America will be like, the people of Iran need help.
Yeah, but that's how you rally people. So the first revolution, the revolution stopped because there was an invasion from Iraq. Iraq was like, yo, Iran's falling apart right now in civil war.
Divide
Let's
and
take
conquer,
it.
yeah.
Let's take it. And then everyone stopped punching each other and they're like, yo, these fucking Iraqis think they're going to come and take this from
Like
us.
they showed up in a military presence.
Yeah, they came in with tanks and stuff. And this is American back. Like America built Saddam Hussein. They're like, here's your arsenal. We built it for you. Have fun. And that united everybody against him. So that's what I think the West is worried about. They're like, well, if we start to arm people and stuff, they're like, oh, they're getting involved. That strengthens the mullah's position of like, only we can defend you from the West, and they're
Gotcha.
evil. And so
And then
that
it goes back to
rallies.
business as
and it
usual?
goes- yeah. So I
So
think
actually, external involvement is going to hinder.
it's going to be
change.
bad. Yeah, I think
Gotcha.
so. But the people
then-
are unarmed and they're getting shot in the streets. So what do you do? Because then you become Syria. Literally, you just keep
gotcha.
fighting until there's no one left and
Yeah.
no buildings left and,
And
no
it's just
schools
destroyed.
left, and everyone's
It's a
deaf
wasteland.
and everyone's fucked
Everyone's
up.
going to Germany.
Yeah, and everyone mass migration, and there's
Yeah.
no country left.
Yeah.
They're not going to leave willingly either. They're not like our king.
You thought you knew a lot of Iranian TAs now?
Yeah,
just
just
wait.
wait.
3 years.
Just wait, you'll never not see an Iranian.
Yeah. I mean,
again.
I did engineering. There's more Iranis in faculty than like Chinese. You know what I mean? Like,
Irani. There's a
Mr. Mehraj and Mr.
Yeah. Mahdi.
Ahmadini.
Ahmed.
Yeah.
But there's so that's your catch-22.
So what do you see happening as this year ends and 20?
They're going to try to financially collapse that regime. So
when you say they?
America, the EU, anybody, Canada, anybody who's secretly allowing these mullahs to keep their money offshore, they're starting to seize all their assets. So when you don't have money to pay your
Guards.
and stuff,
Then they go, fuck it, I'm
they
with
go,
these people.
I'm not doing this. And then if your workers at the factories, at these oil and chemical plants stop working, there's no revenue.
Yeah.
It's not like the mullahs are going to roll up their sleeves and go and
Yeah,
start
exactly.
working.
All right, guys.
I know. I read the book. Okay.
All right. How difficult
on
can it be to
yeah.
refine oil? Come
Yeah.
on, guys.
Ignite the generator, and it just blows up the whole plan. They're like, oh,
It's a massive fucking
shit.
reactor manual.
Yeah, and they're all the
Okay.
ugliest, most daintiest like people you've ever seen that have never seen the sun, and they're just like Alhamdulillah, and they're just
What's his name, the leader again?
Khamenei.
Imagine giving him the inspirational Coach Carter style
Yeah.
locker room.
He can
to
barely-
inspire. Guys, you are the smartest, most loyal.
Yeah.
If there is reactor to be run, you can run it.
Okay, and then
if
he
there is
passes out.
doctor to be do surgery, you can do it.
Yeah, if he yells that loud, he'll shit his brains out. Oh, I shouldn't have raised my
I can do
voice. My
surgery.
prostate. I'm telling you, man. When people stop, that's the only way to do it. Is like, and you know, like the Egyptian.
That one was
Rev-
yeah. The whole country showed up. The whole country
Yeah,
stopped.
and then their king was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
These mullahs aren't going to leave, so they're like, all right, we'll just financially starve you, and then your guys will stop working for you, and then again,
So this is a much longer process than.
it'll
say,
probably
Egypt.
take a couple years if they keep at it, but it'll have a
Crazy.
better resolution.
The whole
I think.
economy stopping still takes a couple.
But
years.
then the Egyptian, the Muslim Brotherhood took over for
yeah, there
like
was,
the army takes over because they're like, yeah, well, we're not
there's-
just like
like
some,
Sudan too.
Yeah.
We'll have a transitionary council, and then it's
And then
just
it's like,
then
now it's a
just
military
then
state.
the general goes, yeah, but come on, it's mine.
Yeah, it's mine, yeah. It's
mine,
mine now,
boys.
yeah.
I got every soldier on payroll.
Yeah,
Like,
what are they gonna do about it?
fuck.
And then the soldiers go and work in the plants and
So
stuff.
the airport's closed, I'm assuming, or are people still flying in?
I
out?
think like, oh, if you're gonna fly internationally to Iran, you're insane, and I don't even think you can. I don't think any airlines are going there, but domestically, I'm sure there's flights.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I meant international.
Yeah, there like because people don't have weapons. It's just the government has all the weapons, and the government's not going to shoot down planes and stuff like for
Not
no
again,
reason.
right?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That
after
was
that,
how
yeah.
that one went.
Yeah, Poor bastards.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. I hope that they can. I hope that something good can come of this eventually, because a lot of human sacrifice, a lot of young people just dying again.
What do your parents say?
They're like, yo, let's fucking do it. Like,
Yeah.
get rid of these guys. It's time. They're not good for the country. Iran doesn't have a voice anymore. Iran used to have a voice on the international stage, and we don't. Anytime the mullahs come to the UN and they go speak,
mullahs
people
are
walk
just
out.
when you keep saying mullahs,
Yeah,
that means
the religious leaders.
Gotcha.
Those
Alright.
guys in garb and
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
with
exactly.
the turbans and
with
stuff.
Breitling and fucking Patek Philippe watches.
Straight up.
You
They
know?
don't. We don't have a voice anymore. At the UN, when those guys go to the podium, people walk out.
Oh, just like fucking Trudeau.
Yeah, people walk out. They don't listen anymore to what Iran has to say.
That's so fucked up, because it's like that's their stance, that fuck you guys, but it's like those guys still in a bastardized fucked up way are there to represent the good or the country.
Yeah.
So that means the country has zero representation.
It's bad. And the representation is, they send this like puppet president to the UN, and he's like, there's no gays in Iran and women have rights. What are you talking about? There's never been any
Yeah,
issues.
it was just like leaving.
People
Everyone's
are
doing
like,
their lunch
Yeah,
orders.
they just take their headsets off and they just walk out.
They're
like,
just hearing it in a
oh,
language they
Iran's
don't
on the
know."
podium. Let's go get lunch.
It's like,
Yeah.
"Ah, fuck this shit.
Yeah, Ahmadinejad. Oh, yeah. Guys, imagine if it was like a comedy show. Keep it going for Ahmadinejad. And he's like, hey, yo, what's
scattered.
up?
Russia in the
And
back.
people are like, oh, yeah, I got to go get another beer.
Every fuck it.
Yeah,
That's
Russia's like, woo, let's go, boys.
on
Jeez.
guard.
Yeah, they're just, jeez.
The fucking the translator is like, we have zero problems in our country. The women are as equal as the men.
They're listening to like,
I'm
this is
like,
fucking
fuck this
nonsense,
shit.
bro. Yo, you want a Diet Coke? I'm going to the vending machine. What do you want?
Fucking
2 Diet
ridiculous,
Cokes.
man.
It's
Damn. Are you like following it closely? Or are you just?
I'm
kinda
watching what's going on. Like,
Yeah?
I can't even avoid it. My mom shows me every 5 seconds like a video of something, or
like on WhatsApp.
yeah, just forwarding me stuff constantly.
I thought
like,
they
look at
stopped the
this.
internet over there.
Yeah, but the government needs internet.
Yeah.
So every couple hours a day they turn it on, and everyone just logs on and
Like, look
posts
at
all
this
these.
atrocity. This is it. And they're like, no,
Yeah,
cut
yeah.
it out.
Because the government needs the
internet, too.
They shut it down. Starlink's not working because like there's no infrastructure for it in
Yeah.
Iran. So like whatever Starlink's bandwidth is, like none of the phones and devices can pick up on that internet anyways, because you've sanctioned the country, so we can't get new devices. Everything comes through China's asshole.
So
And
everyone's
it's-
got Huawei phones and shit.
They just got, and it's like they're being spied by
Huawei.
Xi Jinping. He's just like, oh, look at these Persians.
Yeah, he's like, no
dancing
new
around.
updates. Yeah, exactly. It's like,
Yeah,
it's
so-
like, problem is coming soon, man.
Yeah, so I'm telling you, that's what it is.
Fuck.
So yeah, because everyone's like, Elon, our savior, and then he was like, oh shit, you guys can't even connect to my Wi-Fi. But the government turns it on a couple hours a day to do their business, and then people just start loading videos of like, here's what's going on.
So they have a small window every day.
Yeah, that's
And-
how they're doing it.
And are all those social medias blocked in Iran?
Yeah, but everyone's got a VPN. And
Yeah, gotcha. And they're
There's
just
lots of
doing it
hackers.
like
They hacked
China.
the Iranian state TV, and they just had this like message of rallying, like keep going.
Actually.
Yeah,
And it was like V for Vendetta.
yeah, like
anonymous.
go. Yeah, you will stop this now. Come for kebabs. Yeah, like yeah.
Come for Ali's kebabs afterwards. Yalla,
Yalla. Yeah, exactly. It's just
Well, I hope in a couple of years when we're fucking looking back, we're just like, damn, like
Yeah.
that actually came and made a huge change.
Mhm.
You know?
Iran's a nice country, climate-wise, geography, like history, food, culture. There's a lot there, and it shouldn't be lost. It could have been like the Italy
People
of the
are
Middle East,
all
really.
over the world, and the people are there strong. I think in general, except if you're in fucking Sudan, things seem to get better. So I'm hoping for the best for them, because I have a fantasy of like 50 years, 60 years from now, white kids will be like, when they backpack Europe, they backpack the Middle East too.
Mhm.
They backpack Iraq,
No, you go-
and they
these
backpack
days you go
Iran.
missing. Some
Yeah,
girl from
exactly.
Quebec
No
went.
one does that.
Yeah.
That's just an elaborate suicide plan.
Yeah.
Right now, it's
It
like,
is,
are you
yeah.
okay?
Are
Do
you
you need a
suicidal?
therapist?
Yeah.
No, I want to go see
I
Syria.
couldn't do stand-up, so I'm going on.
He's got that high bag,
Yeah.
like you're going to fucking Munich. I am going to Syria.
Yeah,
Like, are you?
yeah.
fucking-
the big 70-liter backpack,
yeah, exactly.
the
Like,
army one.
in the future, I hope like there's like obviously there's a huge region of like that is, when I say white kids, I'm saying the fucking first generation kids that would fear for their lives. Like I can go to Iraq and I know I'll be fine. Iraq at this point, it's like, what are you fucking gonna go do there anyways?
Yeah.
But like, I can go to Sudan, and Sudan's fucked up too. But like, I wouldn't want to go to Syria. I wouldn't want to go to Iran right now.
You can't even go.
Yeah,
you couldn't go.
You know what I mean?
You couldn't go. The problem is Sudan's neighbors aren't great. Iran's neighbors aren't great either. We're surrounded by failed states.
Bad options. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like,
That's what I'm saying. It takes a good two to three rounds of like two generations.
It takes a while.
It takes a while.
And also like America has to let it happen too. Or like these powers.
Or China. 50 years from now, it's not going to be America.
Possibly. But
bro, work on your Mandarin right now. Trust me.
No, I'm not. Fuck you guys. But the problem is.
Ni hao, Xiangmu, Abbas
masses
Wahab.
of taste.
Xiaomu. Yeah, exactly.
Mandarin. They don't want Iran to change because it's a weapon selling machine for Saudi. Saudi looks at Iran and they're like, all they want to do, their ambitions are to create a nuclear weapon, and they want to either use it on Israel or they want to use it on Saudi Arabia. And so what do we do about that? America's like, also, you guys guns and shit. You want stuff? And because America buys their oil, and then America's like, but I want my money back. So they sell them their
Saudi,
military stuff, and Israel too.
Yeah. It's like we gotta have.
We can't have a stable Iran. This is bad for business.
Yeah, exactly.
Bad on every level. Yeah, it might actually become the greatest place on this face of the earth to live, because their oil money would go into the people's pockets, and it would be what Libya should have been without this crazy dictator, and all these places that have oil, and they could have
the dictator
had
gets $100 billion. Is Iran's oil reserve not looking like it'll be depleted anytime soon? It's nice and healthy.
There's so much oil.
So then
it's like
that makes a problem way more.
The earth is going to be gone before the oil will be. Like our atmosphere is going to fall.
That's the hardest part,
Yeah.
It's like
how much of this can you burn?
If your people want change and you just happen to be standing over a crazy amount of oil, then it seems the whole world has an opinion.
It's billions and billions and billions of years of plant matter and animal carcasses just rotting and going into the earth and concentrating into oil.
Well, yeah, I mean that's how oil is made. But I'm saying, like, I guess.
But I mean, in the last 100 years, we've been burning it all, right? So it took billions of years to pack this in.
I know, but I'm saying a lot of the it's
going to be lots of it.
Like the Middle East, or sorry, the Khalij, like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, all these places. They're seeing obviously they're tiny land masses, but they're seeing a clear end to their reserves. That's why they're investing every dollar in tourism. And like by the time this shit's ended, we got to have an economy that can operate.
Saudi's looking at that big time. They're like, yo, we have to build this place so it's like,
so we can live without it.
Yeah, we can live without. Iran's not even thinking like that because that's what makes this problem more complicated. Yeah, it's a failed government running the show, and people are like, yo, you know what? It's probably better we just fucking do this right now than to wait and see how this ends up, because climate and the whole Syrian conflict started because of a water shortage. The farmers started to come to the city to be like, hey, Bashar, you're giving your buddies water and not ours. Like, what's the deal? And he just started shooting people, and people were like, oh, really? Okay. And then they have this like 10-year conflict of,
and that destroyed the country.
There's no country left. And there's all their old cities and all their
and Bashar,
historical things are
he
blown
himself
up
is like in like England.
God knows where
like
he is.
Ireland, somewhere.
Yeah, one of these like,
imagine
we're on your side
guy, like,
countries. Yeah.
Well, that's a shame how that went down. I kind of destroyed the country.
Another one. Yeah, like these Western powers have to stop doing this.
Fuck.
So that's why they're looking at Iran. They're like, we're not gonna arm people, and I don't think they will. And what are they gonna do? Send SEAL Team 6 in to go wipe out like the leadership? They're not doing that. All the countries are like, get your diplomats out, close those embassies. Tourists get out of Iran. They're going through something.
Like exodus, go,
everyone go.
Yeah, the fire alarms off.
Yeah,
this is not a drill.
This is not a drill. This is the main event.
Yeah, fuck.
Good luck, guys.
Well, can't wait to have you on again to talk about the fucking updates, bro.
Yeah,
let's see what will happen. I hope they don't stop protesting, though.
No, I don't. I think this is the real deal, man.
Yeah.
I think this is really it, because people, when you really you ever corner a cat and you don't give the cat any options where to go,
they go crazy.
Even if
like,
you're bigger than this cat,
it's like fight, die or fight.
It's like I'm gonna
die either way, but
I'm gonna rip your nails off.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta go
telling
fight.
you, man. We'll see what happens.
Faraz Niafattah giving us the fucking drop as always, bro. Let's land this thing. Look into the camera. Tell the people where to find you. Not Iran, obviously, but
I mean, the same places, you know, Gypsy Tier 69. That's my Instagram. That's my TikTok. And then the clubs in the city, like, you know, follow my Instagram. You'll see what shows I'm doing. I post them to my story. Find me at Absolute or Corner.
You have a link tree?
No.
Okay. You just put them all on your story, right?
I put them all on my story.
Scroll down. Click this man's Instagram link. It will be in the bio. As always, catch this guy in the city and Ontario when he's out doing his thing. Get my guy on stage.
Jeez.
And from my end, they're Going Places Comedy Tour and Forced Diversity Show October 21st. All of November, we'll be touring. Tickets at abbaswahab.com. Come out and see the show. Can't wait to see you all out. Thank you for coming on, homie.
Hell yeah.
And
Thanks
if you
for
liked
having
it, like, subscribe, do that whole thing
Do it.
next time. Till next time, bro.
All right.
Can't wait to have you back on.
Peace.
Let's see what happens. Till next time, your boy Boss Wahab signing out. Peace.